My girlfriend swore she was saving herself for marriage, but one weekend away with her gay best friend ended in a drunken night with 4 men, and now I'm stuck deciding if I should throw away 4 years or try to forgive. My girlfriend Katie, 22 female, and I, 26 male, met in college and have been together for 4 years. I'm the first person she's ever had a relationship with because her parents were very strict in high school. Our parents are religious and don't believe in lovemaking before marriage, and while I don't really care, she's very close with her parents, so we've been waiting. Now that she's graduated, I was planning on proposing within the next few months. I had a ring picked out and everything. I was head over heels for this girl. That all changed last night. Or last weekend really. Katie has had a male best friend since high school that her parents never liked because he claimed to be gay. Let's call him Liam. She was excited to be going to the same college as him, because it meant they could hang out as much as they wanted. I've never been a big fan of the male best friend thing, but he's gay, so whatever. Except 2 years ago, he came out as bisexual. I never really liked the vibes when he was around her, so I asked Katie to stop hanging out with him alone. She accused me of not being supportive of him and trying to control her, just like her parents did. I told her it was her choice if she wanted to keep seeing him alone, but I wouldn't be sticking around for it. It was the biggest problem we'd ever had in our relationship, but we worked through it. The compromise was that Liam and his boyfriend could hang out with me and my girlfriend together, as couples, but never alone. I never wanted to cut her off from her friends. With this stipulation, however, the 4 of us only got together twice before Liam ended up transferring to a different college over the summer. My girlfriend stayed in contact with them over Discord, stayed friends with both of them when they broke up, and formed a gaming server with them and some of their other friends. Most of these friends were men, but she assured me nothing funny was going on. Most of them even had girlfriends, she said. Last weekend was Liam's birthday party, and he invited her. Katie wanted to talk to me about it first, to make sure I was okay with it. She said she wanted to go since she hadn't seen him in 2 years, and it was only a 2-hour drive away. A bunch of her friends from the Discord server that she had never met in person before were going to be there, women included, and Liam's girlfriend would be there too. Since I had a weekend trip planned, leaving Friday, returning Sunday, I unfortunately wouldn't be able to attend with her, but I told Katie I trusted her and had no problems with her going to see her friends. The problem started Saturday night. She texted me in the morning when she was leaving for the party, she texted me when she got there, and she texted me a couple times throughout the night to check in. Katie told me that she had planned on driving back around 9 or 10, but it was around that time that the text messages stopped. I assumed she was just having a good time and I didn't want to seem controlling, so I didn't bother her. I did stay up to watch her location and make sure she got home though, and she did, around 2 a.m. It was unusual, but I trusted her, and didn't want to make any assumptions. I would call her in the morning and she would explain that she just got carried away having fun with her friends, I thought. I called her Sunday morning, and she didn't answer. She texted back a few minutes later that she had been sleeping, had a hangover, and wasn't feeling well. That was very strange, because Katie doesn't drink. I told her to drink lots of water and that I hoped she felt better, and got on my flight home. When I arrived at my apartment, I found her curled up in my bed in the dark. She has a key to my apartment, but hardly ever needs it because usually I'm with her to do the unlocking. I asked her why she hadn't stayed at her apartment to rest up, but she didn't say anything. Since then, the entire week, she has been saying she's not feeling well and has not left my room. She's taken off work, and I've been going home on my lunch breaks to make sure she was eating. I was worried about her, but in the back of my mind, I was also suspicious about what had happened at the party over the weekend. Late last night, Katie woke me up from the couch sobbing. It was the first time she had left my room since I'd gotten home, other than to use the bathroom. I consoled her until she had calmed down enough to be coherent, and asked her what was wrong. She told me she had done something horrible. She told me Saturday night, she had somehow gotten really drunk on accident, and Liam offered to drive her home. 3 of her friends from the gaming server on Discord got in a second car to follow them, to take Liam back home after they got to Katie's apartment. They helped her up the stairs and into her apartment. Then, she said, she made love with them. All of them. All 4 men. Katie said she doesn't remember most of it, that she was really out of it and didn't know what was going on. She said she's been sick ever since trying to figure out how to tell me, because she loves me so much and didn't want to hurt me. Didn't want to hurt me, but gave away her cherry, that she was supposedly saving for marriage, to 4 other men, instead of the man who spent the past 4 years caring for her. She said she wanted to tell me right when I got back, which is why I found her in my apartment, but she couldn't bring herself to because she didn't want to lose me. She begged me not to break up with her. I told her I needed some time to myself to think. She then begged me not to make her go back to her apartment. I didn't feel like fighting, so I just told her she could go back into my room. I could hear her crying intermittently all night. I have to admit I was brought to tears myself. I can't believe how she would throw away our whole relationship, the 4 years we've built together, over one party. I was going to propose soon. I trusted her, and now it's broken. I'm at work, and I haven't been able to focus all day. Part of me wants to tell her to get out the second I get home, if she's still there, and that I never want to see her again. Part of me wants to talk to her more and see if there's anything left to salvage. I can't tell which side is more unreasonable. How do I navigate this? Edit, I have heard everyone and am on the way home to go check on her. For those telling me to break up with her, even if it turns out not to have been SA, I could never forgive myself if it was and I left her to deal with it on her own. Update 3 days later, trigger warning, SA. My girlfriend has gone to bed early and I have nothing better to do, so I'm finally getting a chance to write this. After reading all the comments that opened my eyes to what really happened, I left work a little before lunch and immediately went home to check on my girlfriend. She was as I had left her, curled up in bed and crying. The first thing I did was just go hold her, after asking for consent. I cried with her. After a while, I gently brought up what happened that night. Did she actually want any of that to happen? A lot was said, but long story short, and as many of you suggested, she did not. To clear some things up, these friends that she was with at the party were not just random people she met online. They were personal friends of Liam, who she had been best friends with for 8 years. These friends, while she herself never met them in person, were people she had talked to and gamed with over the past year or so. I would hear her talking with them over the headset and I never noticed anything strange. She's pretty shy and introverted, so I was happy for her to have friends to play with while she gamed. They weren't all men either. From what she said, there were 4 or 5 women in the server as well. Of the people at the party, 3 of the men and 2 of the women attended. Also there were Liam's girlfriend, a couple of other friends, and a few of their partners. All in all, there were only around 15 guests, and everyone knew each other for the most part. It was never meant to be a huge thing, just a get-together of Liam's closest friends at his house. Alcohol wasn't even supposed to be a big part of it. At the beginning of the party, a lot of them just gamed together, since they hadn't been able to in person for a while. There was no big girl or guy separation, as a lot of people at the party were LGBT+. Some people got in little groups to chat together, just general mingling, etc. About midway through the party, one of the guests poured everyone some mystery shots. Katie rejected it at first. Liam, however, urged her to for his birthday. When everyone else heard she'd never taken a shot before, they all egged her on too. It was just one shot. Liam insisted it would wear off well before time for her to head home, and if not, she could just wait however much longer until she felt comfortable driving. She felt like she had to. From that point, things got a little less clear. There was more hanging out. There was more alcohol. People, she wasn't sure which ones, kept handing her drinks and insisting. She didn't want to ruin Liam's party, and she knew if nothing else, he would look out for her. She didn't feel right, but Katie said she thought he would have told her if something was wrong, and he kept telling her everything was okay. She remembers feeling really sick. She remembers seeing others passed out on the couch. She remembers Liam saying he wanted to personally take her home, driving her car, to make sure she was okay. He felt bad he had let her get so messed up, he said. She remembers one of her friends from Discord telling Liam he would follow them in his car to take Liam back after, and she remembers 2 more guys from the Discord getting in his car. She remembers Liam giving her a bottle of water in the car to help her sober up. She remembers them carrying her up the stairs to her apartment and laughing. Being brought inside her apartment. I'm not going to describe any further than that. She didn't want any of what happened. Was she naive? Maybe. Did she probably miss some red flags, make some choices she shouldn't have? Sure. Katie did not deserve that. The fault belongs with the men who did it. She didn't want to file a police report, and I'm not giving her an ultimatum. I've read up a lot on how horrific that can be, and I'm in full support of her decision. Of course, if she ever changes her mind and decides she does want to file a report, I'll be there for her through that too. What we are going to do is see a doctor. Part of the reason Katie says she spent most of this time curled up in bed is that she has been in a lot of pain. She really doesn't want to be poked and prodded it down there, but after some convincing and assurance, she agreed. She's going to be seen on Monday, and also going to get pregnancy and STI testing, which we're equally worried about, done while we're there. Over the weekend we've talked a lot. We've both cried a lot. There's been lots of hugs, and giving space when needed. I have opened up the curtains in the bedroom so she gets sunlight in there at least. For anyone who is concerned, no, I'm not making her go back to her apartment. For the jerks who suggested it, no, I'm not leaving her, before or after her healing, to find someone who isn't damaged, and no, I will not be ratting her out to her parents. I'm taking the entirety of next week off to stay home and take care of her, go to as many doctor's appointments as needed, set up therapy, etc. I don't think I can ever make up for leaving her alone the way I did this past week, but I will be there for her through anything and everything that comes next, whatever that may mean. Again, thank you to everyone from my first post who helped me realize what an egocentric dummy I was being. Katie isn't okay right now, but hopefully we can get there.